Alright, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. No intros no more, man.
A black demigod with powers similar to those of Jesus appears in Africa in the 1960s. Immediately began performing miracles, healing the sick and feeding the poor. After this, of course, rumors began to spread. Unfortunately, the wrong people caught wind of his existence. This group immediately sent out mercenaries to take him out. They took him and they put him into radioactive shielded containers that wouldn't allow him to regenerate. These containers were very technologically advanced and said to be created using ancient alien technology. Once arriving at work...
Now that's crazy. How did they take, like, when you hear about stuff like that, how did they even get their technology here? Or was it already here?
They settle into their top floor CEO suite style office, not even thinking about Black Jesus. They heard something behind them, only to turn around and see him standing there, regenerated, fully intact. They couldn't believe their eyes, and absolute terror gripped their hearts. But of course, remember, this gentleman was much like Jesus in his nature. So, he did not seek revenge or attack them. He simply said, okay, fine. You don't want my presence here? Then so be it. But be warned, in the near future, I will return, and many like me will be by my side. This time, there will be no stopping us. We will seek and achieve what we come here to do. And hopefully, you're on the right side of things at that moment. After
are leading you into hell, don't follow them. Don't listen to their music. When I'm telling you that Drake literally worships the Baphomet, the Lord is saying the truth. This man worships the Baphomet. There's a woman and a man spirit living inside of him. And you want to tell me, oh, that's not true. You're delusional. You're crazy. Go outside and touch grass. Really? Me? Go outside and touch grass? In what world is it okay for a grown man, okay, to get his nail, a grown man who says, okay, that he is a straight grown man, right? Go and ask straight grown black men if they're going around and painting their nails pink. Go and ask another straight black man if he's doing that. Go and observe in society straight black men and see if they're doing that. That is not normal. That is not normal for this man, the way that he's walking around, what he says, how he posts, how he talks, the way that his lips are always glossed. Literally, there is no heterosexual black man that is getting on Instagram and taking a selfie with his lips pursed together as if he's making a kissy face. There's no other straight black man. I don't know about you guys, but the ones that I have in my life are not getting on stage and singing Cardi B songs, okay, about WAP and this and that, okay? And you guys are falling for what he's saying. Drake collects Birkin bags for the girl that he's going to marry. He's collecting Birkin bags for himself, sweetheart, because this man is a woman. Okay, there is a woman spirit living inside of him, right? He is trans. He worships the Baphomet. You know how the Baphomet is? There's breasts, and then there's also a thing at the bottom, male genitalia at the bottom. That is who he worships. That is who he believes, who he wants to be like. He has sold his soul. For what? For fame, for notoriety, for fortunes. And that is why he's everywhere. And that is why he's untouchable. That is why the world listens to his music. Okay, no matter how much it has fallen off. And listen to me, it has fallen off. Personally speaking, it has fallen off. And everybody, their mom loves him. He's all over TikTok, he's all over Instagram, he is all over pop culture. His concerts are selling out like crazy. Girls over here throwing bras, panties, whatever at him. Meanwhile, Lord is he's looking down at him and he's like saying else, this man is full of filth. God looks down at him, all he sees is all he feels is anger, wrath, because of his sins. And when I say this, don't tell me, oh, you're trying to judge man. Oh, you know, you're trying to say Drake is not redeemable. What? Drake is redeemable. Anybody is redeemable, okay? But who is he serving, all right? You cannot be outside of God. You cannot sell your soul. You cannot decide that you're going to blaspheme God and send spirits out, which is what he does. Listen, okay? When you go to concerts and they tell you, put your hands up, do this, do that, they are literally initiating you.
What's happening to all the people that's vanishing around the world? Did Jesus come back? They said Christ died and came back to life in 3 days. Just how they sent off the national alert on October 4th. October 7th, the war started all over again. And 3 days. Now people are saying that they hear trumpets coming from the skies. Are these from the angels? So now people are sitting around waiting for a savior to come back and save us. No one's coming to save us. Matter of fact, the one that do come is not going to be Christ. The same ones that caused all the pain and suffering in this world, they're going to be the ones that come back and fix everything. They said that the devil come in peace. So when someone come back to this planet and fix everything, people going to think it's Christ. I want people to forget about the image in the background and focus on the heart. Why is the heart surrounded by thorns? Not only that, look at Christ's head. It's surrounded by thorns. Why is this? These thorns around his head is a hidden message, letting us know that our brains are really in the prison. Same with the heart. The heart is wrapped in thorns. Our heart is in the prison. They try to tell us certain things in little codes. They don't want to give us the truth, because if everyone knew the truth, it wouldn't be this way no more. We are really in prison. What a lot of people don't understand is when they speak about Christ or the Son of God, they are really talking about the sun. This is why they're trying to block the sun out. And not to mention, October 4th, we are going into a solar eclipse. The moon is about to block out the sun. This is what they mean about the 3 days of darkness, when the moon actually eclipses the sun, so we can't get solar energy. There is no one Christ. It is a consciousness. It is a group of all of us. We are the sun. If you can't understand the true meaning behind these stories, it's going to always be a fantasy. Just like they said when Jesus, or the Son of Christ, was walking on water. Was the sun really walking on water? Yes, the sun was walking on water, but it wasn't a person. If you pay attention, that really looked like a walk path for the sun.
I'm finna give y'all 3 reasons on why you should not be watching scary movies. Number 1, these entities in these movies be real. So real to the point to where it was hauntings and even casualties. Oh, I think y'all gonna wanna hear this. Here we have The Exorcism. Let's go what happened behind the scenes. Uh-oh, niggas was dying from mysterious fires. And also, they had an actual exorcism on the set. Then we have The Conjuring. If y'all didn't know, everybody on the set was hunted, but hers was particularly strange. This is what she quoted after she woke up with 3 large ass scratches on her legs. She also stopped using her computer at night because it was 3 scratches on her fucking computer. Crazy scary movie scene of them all was The Omen. Before we get into what happened, this is what was quoted before they started recording the movie. If the devil's greatest single weapon is to be invisible, you are doing something which is going to take away his invisibility to millions of people. He is not going to be happy with that shit. And no, the fuck he was not. 2 months before, the lead actor committed suicide before his first day on the set. And then the next person that flew out for the role, his shit was struck by lightning. Also, one of the directors that filmed the gruesome scene, he got in a car crash, and the person that was his passenger, they died the same way that it happened inside the movie, with a head decapitation. And before he crashed his car, this is what he seen. Interesting. And don't let me forget to tell y'all, 11 niggas died in a plane crash that was helping with this film. Number 2, the manipulation of frequencies and vibrations. To amp up the tensions, composers often use sounds to disrupt the viewers, known as non-linear sounds. Well, what is a non-linear sound? If you look at this diagram, you got 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. 20 hertz is the lowest frequency that a human can hear with the untrained ear. Guess what frequency non-linear hertz is at? 20 hertz! The lowest frequency that a human can hear with his ears. The reason why they use the lowest frequencies is to put you into a state of fear. Which leads me to number 3. The images that you see inside of these movies, they bleed into your subconscious mind. This one is simple. Whatever that you put in front of you, it will subconsciously go back into your mind, bleed into your subconscious brain, and start manifesting into your life. Now let's think about it. Would you want any of these entities or energies manifesting in your life just because you put energy towards them? Because we know where energy goes, that's where energy flows. Let me know what y'all think about these 3 reasons on why you shouldn't be watching scary movies in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom, and stay tuned.
If you ever see this creature, run. The opium bird usually appears during the winter times at night or when it's snowing. It's supposed to look majestic and beautiful in order to lure its prey in. Many people who go up to it because of its beauty try to see exactly what it is and get footage of it on their phone. But this is their biggest mistake. You see, the opium bird is very frail. It has no talons and it doesn't have a beak strong enough to harm you. So it secretes a pheromone chemical that tricks the human brain into wanting to dance. Sounds fun, right? Only it's not, because you're uncontrollably dancing and you're conscious for the whole thing. Your body just keeps moving without you wanting it to. You'll dance until your muscles become so sore they can no longer move and you pass out from dehydration. That's when the opium bird devours you. It usually goes after young children and teens and has even been recorded going into people's rooms at night. Some witnesses have even seen it devouring adults. Look, if I see this bird, there ain't gonna be no dancing. Get the air fryer. We having some wings tonight. Let me know what flavor you want down below.
You know all the candy you eat made by a scientist, right? It's called candy chemistry. Candy chemistry is when scientists take a bunch of sugars and acid and all kind of unhealthy shit and combine them together to create a taste that you never tasted before. Basically to fuck you up. That's why they have naturally and artificially flavored on the candy packets. I bet you don't even know that them scientists go as deep as getting aborted fetus cells to enhance the flavor of their candies. These cells are called HEK293 cells. These cells are located in the kidney and pretty much could be used for anything. They use these cells for food, vaccine development, drug tests, and all kind of stuff. You could tell just by reading the ingredients that these are scientific terms that they're using. Red 40. What the fuck is a red 40? So just think about this video next time you eat candy, knowing that number one, it was created by a scientist, and number two, it can have baby cells in them. Send this to somebody that eat candy.
The devil was just confirmed to exist inside of Bleach. So as many of you should know, in Bleach there exist three main realms, that being the soul society.
Halloween is coming up too, so a lot of people have to eat some candy too. They don't even know. Got all them ingredients that they can't even understand. That is actually changing them. And it's not healthy, like
society, Hueco Mundo, and the world of the living. And those three realms are governed by the Soul King. However, we also know hell exists in Bleach, and it's completely separate to the three realms. And that led to many people speculating that hell has its own ruler. Well, what if I told you this latest Bleach 1000 Year Blood War episode actually confirmed the existence of hell's ruler? You see, in the latest episode of Bleach, we know that Yuha and Ichibei fight, but something very interesting was added into the anime that wasn't added into the manga. Yuha actually starts producing a chant which describes some sort of otherworldly being, especially since he ends the chant with "the object we raise is your heart." And what's even creepier about all of this is that Yuha's shadow ends up producing this silhouette. Obviously, this is not Yuha, but we can see that it has two very distinct horns, signifying that this actually represents the devil of Bleach. Meaning that there is still so much to Bleach that we do not know about at all. If you guys want to hear a more in-depth explanation about this theory, I actually highly recommend you to go watch Casual Lore's videos on it. But yeah, Bleach just got a whole lot darker.
I don't even know how to say this. He started to put my legs apart. And this female brought a baby and she sort of handed him to me. And I instantly said, this baby is mine. I know he's mine. She pulled the baby away from me and said, no, this baby is ours.
I've been shown children. I've been shown babies. I've been asked to hold children and babies. I've been asked to give these children affection. And these children aren't alien children, and they're not human children. They're somewhere in between.
In like little glass boxes, I've seen these babies. Their bodies are very, very tiny. They look very thin and emaciated almost, and they're very quiet, and they don't move. And it's almost a very sad picture for some reason.
They put like a jock strap on you of some sort with a tube attached to it, and it runs to a machine, and they somehow extract sperm. I don't know how they do it.
The most humiliating thing that happened to me is they put a cylindrical sort of thing over my genitals, and it made me have an orgasm in a second. And I really feel like I'm one of those few men who knows what a woman feels like when she's raped.
I was being invaded. The only way I can explain it is I know what it's like to be raped.
I think what we need at this point is science to simply say, okay, it's going on. I want to look into it. What's the matter with that?
I wanted to do a video on a guy named Simeon Toko. I've seen a few videos on him on TikTok, but I feel like he's not spoken about enough. And his story is literally top secret. The CIA, the cabal, all of them do not want nobody knowing about him. Okay, so basically he was born in 1918, and throughout the years, he literally was doing things that the Messiah was. He was performing miracles, doing stuff like that, you know. And basically the cabal, Fatima, you know, the elites tried to come down and kill him multiple times. This photo right here that I'm showing you, they literally cut out his heart one time after killing him, tried to do a diagram on it as to why he's always coming back to life. And he literally came back to life as they were doing it and asked them why did they have his heart. There was a time where he was on helicopters and literally told the helicopter to stop, and the helicopter stopped. It didn't go back, it didn't fall, it just literally froze up in the sky. Even when he was down in the Congos, he had a ministry to himself that was devoted to him, literally. Matter of fact, I got a tape recording of somebody actually going into detail on how he literally was refusing to die and chose to die. Literally, he chose to die. I'm about to roll it right now.
Enjoying very much.
Thanks.
And one of the chapters was Nikola Tesla, the Pete Peterson and Nikola Tesla Black Ops.
Yep.
One of them is about Black Jesus, where there's a ascended being appearing in Africa.
Yep.
And I just want to know if you know any more information you would share with us.
Yeah, the Black Jesus story. The Black Jesus story was probably one of the most shocking things I ever heard. It came from my insider Jacob, I call him that in the book, who actually was working for the Rothschilds and still does, and also is a whistleblower who doesn't really do what they want but continues to work for them because he feels like there's some very serious extraterrestrial threats to Earth and that what they're doing is very necessary to protect us. So the story goes that in the 1960s there was a black man in Africa who came in with abilities complementary to those of Jesus. And he was performing miracles. He was starting to get people to listen to what he had to say. And the cabal tried to kill him, and, you know, they could shoot him in the head and his skull would just regenerate and the flesh would grow back, and he was fine. The crazy story that I heard, which, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed, and I ended up putting it in the book anyway. The story was that let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and basically like a bandsaw, I guess, and sawed up his body into a whole bunch of pieces, put him in these very like radioactive shielded containers, and then had all these fighter jets dock with the plane and fly his body parts to all corners of the world, where then these containers turned them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices and was fully fine, fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you know, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
Shit. Have you ever heard about the man that got his body chopped up and came back to life and they calling him the Black Jesus? Jesus was originally black anyway, so. This is Simeon Toko, born February 24th, 1918. Born in the Congo, Toko was known for performing miracles upon his people. He was the one that helped Congo gain independence. January 4th, 1959, they say Toko sent his army of small people against Belgian colonists. It said they saw human beings with supernatural powers, short but very muscular. The occurrences of Toko's abilities goes way back when he was younger, and 2 Portuguese workers told him that there was weeds stuck in a tractor. He started the tractor up and his body started getting chopped off. They thought they succeeded, but his body started to regenerate. After this, they got so scared, they started the Tokist church. This much power was threatening to a lot of people. He even had Catholic priests try to throw him out of a plane. But he stopped the plane mid-air. Not playing with niggas. The most prominent story is when Portuguese doctors tried to perform surgery on him to take his heart out. In the middle of them taking his heart out, he woke up with no heart in his body and said, "Why are you prosecuting me like this? Give me my heart back." They put his heart back ASAP. There's even a photo of him showing the scar afterwards. Before Toko died, when he was 66, he told them that more people like him were going to start coming more alive. Say his body is still undecaying today in a mountain in Angola.
This is for the Taurians if you were born between April 21st and May 21st. If you were born closer to April 21st, like April 22nd, April 23rd, then you are deficient in the mineral that corresponds to this zodiac. Taurus is sodium sulfate, so you can look up where you can get sodium sulfate. It's not just in kale. You can find sodium sulfate in a lot of plants. These are just alkaline electric examples, according to Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide. He cured AIDS, pneumonia, lupus, bronchitis, sinusitis, every disease known to man. Dr. Sebi cured. He even went to Supreme Court to prove that. He brought 77 patients, even cured a paralyzed man. So basically, there's only one disease and it's mucus, and aged urine gets rid of the mucus. Now you have to re-nourish the cells with these salts because your body's made up of these salts. You can get the cell salts from the meat, but that's because the animals are eating other animals that eat plants. So you can get these minerals straight from plants. So when you're mineral deficient, that's what all diseases are caused by. You lack these minerals. You lack ferrous phosphate, not iron oxide. This is iron phosphate. Iron oxide is a rusty nail. Iron phosphate or ferrous phosphate you get from blueberries, even apples. So here's the point, you guys. And I had to make that clear. You're in your mother's womb for 9 months, not 10. 40 weeks is 280 days. That's a remainder of 85 days. 85 days is 12 weeks, which is 3 months, meaning you're not in your mother's womb for Taurus, Gemini, or Cancer if you're born at the beginning of Taurus. If you're born April 22nd, then that means you didn't get the full month of Taurus, you didn't get the full month of Gemini, you didn't get the full month of Cancer. So you're going to be deficient in these 3 if you're born at the beginning of Taurus. If you're born at the end of Taurus, then you need to include, then you're deficient in these 3, which is Gemini, Cancer, and Leo. So you're going to need potassium chloride, calcium fluoride, and magnesium phosphate. You can find it in apples, mushrooms, and cherries, or look up where you can find these cell salts: potassium chloride, calcium fluoride, magnesium phosphate. That's if you're born at the end of Taurus. If you're born at the beginning of Taurus, like April 22nd, then you need sodium sulfate, which you can find in kale and other fruits and vegetables. So you basically you include the zodiac you're born in plus the next 2, or just the next 3, because you were basically in your mother's womb for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your mother conceived you at the beginning or end of Virgo, and so you were born 9 months later at the beginning or end of Taurus. Depending on if you're born at the beginning or end of Taurus, you're either going to include or not include your zodiac sign mineral deficiency. It's that simple, you guys. You are made up of the 12 cell salts. When you burn a body in the ashes, you find these salts. You're going to say, well, my mother just ate hot Cheetos the whole time. The zodiacs, the frequencies, nothing is particles. Everything's waves and frequency. You need to understand that. 369 energy, frequency, vibration. Boom.
You know how Nicki Minaj says that someone named Roman lives in her? Well, that Roman came out the other night at the VMAs.
MTV is petrified because they got a couple calls yesterday, and people were saying, what if Nicki says this and if Nicki says that? And you know, and I said, it's okay, MTV, I can control myself. Because if you can't control yourself, you can't control anything around you, right? But you know who can't control themselves? Roman, Red Ruby the Sleeves, Chun-Li. So I'll think about it.
Wow. Okay. That was a good one, man. Now, we will be posting like 3 times a day, okay? The videos is going to be short, but you get 3 vids a day, man. Alright, so make sure you guys like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
What? Bitch, I'm a god, cause nigga, I'm back. Fuck the Matrix, this shit is trash.